Assalamualaikum and good morning. So today we'll be presenting our trade simulation report, Introduction to Technical Analysis. For this project, our group selected 3 companies listed on Bursa Malaysia, namely Inari Ametrran Berhad, Petronas Chemicals Group Berhad, and Malayan Banking Berhad Maybank. So each presenter will introduce and analyze one company using technical analysis. I will begin by introducing our first company, which is Inari Ametrran Berhad. It is one of Malaysia's leading semiconductor companies, and the company specializes in outsourced semiconductor assembly and testing, or OSAT, as well as electronics manufacturing services, also known as EMEs. Besides operating in Malaysia, Inari also has manufacturing facilities in China and Philippines, allowing the company to serve customers worldwide. Its products are widely used in industries such as radio frequency, fiber optic sensors, optoelectronics, and integrated circuits, making the company an important player in the global semiconductor supply chain. Overall, Inari has built a strong international presence by focusing on high-quality products, operational efficiency, continuous innovations, and creating sustainable value for its shareholders. Next, let's move on to the company's top summary. So based on the latest trading statistics, Inari share price was approximately RM2.21 with an intraday trading range between RM2.19 and RM2.25, indicating a relatively stable price movement during the trading sessions. The company has a market capitalization of approximately RM8.45 billion, making it one of the largest technology companies listed on Bursa Malaysia. From a fundamental perspective, Inari recorded a return on equity or ROE of 6.14%, which shows the company's ability to generate profits from shareholders' investment.
Good morning, everyone. Today, I will be presenting the stock analysis of Petronas Chemical Group Berhad. First, let me give a brief overview of the company. Petronas Chemical Group Berhad was incorporated in 1998 as a wholly owned subsidiary of Petronas and was listed on the main market of Bursa Malaysia in 2010. It is one of the leading integrated chemical producer in Southeast Asia. The company manufactures a wide range of chemical and petrochemical products. It operates manufacturing facilities across Malaysia, the Asia-Pacific region, Europe, and North America, serving customers in more than 100 countries worldwide. Overall, Petronas Chemical Group Berhad has established a strong global presence and continues to focus on long-term growth through its diversified operation. Now, let's look at the company's stock summary. Petronas Chemical Group Berhad operates in the chemical and petrochemical industry and is listed on Bursa Malaysia under stock code 5183. The company has several key strengths. First, it receives strong financial support from Petronas, which provides stability during challenging market conditions. Second, Petronas Chemical Group Berhad is one of the leading chemical producers in Southeast Asia with a diversified product portfolio, allowing it to serve different industries and markets. In addition, the company has a stable asset base, a strong global market presence, and focus on sustainable long-term growth. These strengths make Petronas Chemical Group Berhad an established company with good long-term potential.
Good morning, everyone. Now I will present the company's stock summary of Malayan Banking Berhad or Maybank, which is listed on Bursa Malaysia under the stock code 1155. Maybank is the largest banking and financial services group in Malaysia, with operations in more than 18 countries across Southeast Asia. The company provides consumer banking, corporate banking, investment banking, and Islamic banking services. Besides that, Maybank is well known for its digital banking initiative and sustainable business growth. In terms of financial performance, Maybank remains one of the strongest companies on Bursa Malaysia. It recorded a return on equity of 11.5%, an attractive dividend yield of 5.83%, and has a strong market capitalization. This trend makes Maybank a suitable investment for long-term investors seeking stable returns and dividend income.
Next, I will present the historical stock price performance of Inari Ametrran Berhad over the past 1 year. So during the first period, from July to November, the company experienced a strong bullish trend. The share price increased significantly from approximately RM1.85 to RM2.65, reflecting a strong buying momentum and growing investor confidence. So this positive performance was mainly supported by optimism surrounding the semiconductor industry. However, from late November until March, the stock entered a sharp bearish correction. During this period, the share price declined by more than 50% due to increasing selling pressure, weaker earnings expectations, and the cyclical slowdown in the semiconductor industry. Moving into April until June, the stock successfully reversed its trend, so the price rebounded strongly from around RM1.20, forming a series of higher high and higher lows, which is a classic signal of a new bullish trend. So this indicates that buyers regain control of the market. Currently, Inari is trading at around RM2.21 and moving sideways between RM2.20 and RM2.35. So this consolidation phase suggests that investors are waiting for new catalysts such as quarterly earnings announcements before deciding the next price directions.
Next, I will explain the historical stock price movement of Petronas Chemical Group Berhad. From July to November, the share price showed an upward trend initially before gradually declining. The stock reached its highest level around September and then weakened towards November. From November to March, the share price continued to decline and reached its lowest level around late February to early March. This reflected weaker market sentiment during that period. However, from April to June, the stock experienced a strong recovery. After the recovery, the price moved sideways and remained relatively stable before declining slightly again in late June. Currently, the share price is around RM405 ringgit, which is above its yearly low but still below its early peak. This suggests that investor confidence is improving, although market sentiment remains cautious.
Next is the historical stock price performance of Maybank over the past 1 year. During July to November 2035, the share price moved sideways between approximately RM9.40 and RM10 with relatively low volatility as investors wait for stronger market catalysts. From December 2035 until February 2036, Maybank experienced a strong bullish rally. The share price increased significantly from around RM10 to a high of approximately RM12.40. This rally was supported by strong buying momentum and positive investor confidence, mainly due to the company's stable earning and attractive dividend policy. However, from March to June 2036, profit-taking activities caused the share price to decline gradually towards RM10.80. Although selling pressure increased, buyers continue to defend the RM10.80 support level. Currently, the stock is trading around RM10.80 to RM10.90 in a consolidation phase, while investors wait for a confirmed breakout.
Moving on to the price and volume pattern analysis. So first is the trendline analysis. From November 2025, the stock was in a strong downtrend, which was represented by a descending trend line. However, the stock successfully broke above this trend line, confirming a bullish reversal. So this breakout indicates that selling pressure has weakened, buyers have regained control, and a new uptrend has been established. The formation of higher lows further supports the bullish market structure. Looking at the supports level, the nearest supports are located at 2 ringgit 20 cent, 2 ringgit, 1 ringgit 90 cent, and 1 ringgit 25 cent. So these levels are expected to provide buying support if the price declines. Meanwhile, the resistance levels are at 2 ringgit 30 cent, 2 ringgit 42 cent, and 2 ringgit 65 cent. If the stock successfully breaks above 2 ringgit 30 cent with strong buying volume, it may continue moving towards the higher resistance levels. Finally, let's look at the volume analysis. Trading volume increased significantly during the breakout, confirming a strong buying interest and validating the bullish trend. So although the current trading volume has decreased, this simply indicates that the stock is consolidating before making its next major move.
Now, let's move on the price and volume analysis for Petronas Chemical Group Berhad. Based on the trendline chart, Petronas Chemical Group Berhad is still in bearish trend because sellers continue to dominate the market. However, the formation of higher low indicate that buying pressure is gradually increasing, meaning the downtrend is beginning to weaken. The stock is also showing an accumulation pattern where selling pressure is decreasing while buyers are becoming more active. The important support level is RM3.76, while the resistance level are RM4.68, RM4.43, and RM5.85. Looking at trading volume, buying interest has increased during recent price rallies. However, stronger trading volume is still needed to confirm a sustainable upward trend.
Moving on to the technical analysis, I will first discuss the price and volume patterns. Maybank experienced a strong uptrend from December 2035 until February 2036 before entering a correction phase after reaching its peak of around RM12.40. Since then, the stock has formed a descending trend line and is currently consolidating near its major support level. Looking at the chart pattern, Maybank formed a descending triangle followed by a forced rate down, also known as a bear trap, when the price briefly fell below RM10.80 before quickly recovering. This indicates that buyers are actively defending the support level and suggests that bearish momentum is weakening. In terms of trading volume, buying activity was strong during the earlier rally, while a selling climate occurred in early June. More recently, buying interest has returned around RM10.80, although overall trading volume remains moderate. Therefore, investors should continue monitoring volume because stronger participation is needed to confirm the next breakout. For the key price levels, the main support levels are RM10.80, RM10.60, and RM10.50, while the resistance levels are RM11, RM11.20, and RM11.60. A successful breakout above RM11.20 could signal the continuation of the bullish trend, whereas a break below RM10.80 may indicate renewed selling pressure.
Next, I will explain the technical indicators used in this analysis. The first indicator is the exponential moving average or EMA. So this indicator helps identify the short-term trend. In November 2025, the price crossed below the EMA, producing a bearish crossover and confirming a downward trend. However, in April 2026, the price crossed back above the EMA, forming a bullish crossover. Since then, the EMA has acted as a dynamic support, indicating that short-term bullish momentum remains intact. The second indicator is the Bollinger Bands, which measure market volatility. So the Bollinger Band consists of an upper band, a middle band, and a lower band. At the moment, the share price is trading between the middle and upper bands, while the bands themselves are becoming narrower. So this suggests that market volatility is decreasing and the stock is currently in a consolidation phase. A breakout above 431 cent, which is the upper Bollinger Band, would signal renewed bullish momentum. On the other hand, a break below 216 cent, which is the lower Bollinger Band, could indicate increasing selling pressure.
Next is the exponential moving average or EMA for Petronas Chemical Group Berhad. The EMA analysis show early sign of recovery. The share price has moved above the EMA line, indicating that buying interest is increasing. In addition, the EMA crossover provide an early bullish signal, suggesting that the market trend may be changing. However, this recovery has not been fully confirmed because stronger trading volume is still needed before we can conclude that a new uptrend has begun. Therefore, investors should continue monitoring future price movement carefully. Now, I will explain the Bollinger Band analysis for Petronas Chemical Group Berhad. The Bollinger Band analysis show improving momentum. The share price has moved from the lower band toward the upper band, which indicates increasing buying pressure. At the same time, the Bollinger Band are widening, suggesting that market volatility is increasing. The price movement reflects that the stock is entering a recovery phase. However, for stronger confirmation, the share price should remain above the middle Bollinger Band over the coming trading session.
I will explain the technical indicators, beginning with the exponential moving average or EMA. The share price is currently trading close to the 9-day EMA, indicating that selling pressure has eased after this recent correction. This also suggests that the short-term trend is beginning to stabilize as buyers establish a temporary balance. If the price successfully breaks above the EMA, it could signal renewed bullish momentum. However, if it remains below the EMA, the stock is likely to continue consolidating. Looking at the Bollinger Bands, the share price is currently trading near the middle bands and remains within the upper and lower bands. This indicates that Maybank is neither overbought nor oversold. The Bollinger Bands have also narrowed, reflecting lower market volatility and suggesting that a significant price movement could occur soon. Therefore, investors should monitor a breakout above RM 11.16 or below RM 10.50 to determine the stock's next direction.
Okay, so now let's look at the momentum indicators. The first indicator is the stochastic oscillator. The current K value is 36 while the D value is 52. Since the K line has crossed below the D line, it indicates weakening short-term momentum and increasing selling pressure. However, both values remain above the oversold level of 20, meaning that the stock is not yet in an oversold conditions. Next is the relative strength index or RSI. The RSI currently stands at 52.17, which is considered neutral. Since it remains above the 50 level, buyers still have a slight advantage, suggesting that the stock maintains a moderately bullish outlook. And then the third indicator is the rate of change or ROC. The current ROC value is negative 2.64, indicating a slight decline in price momentum. However, because it remains close to the zero line, the downward momentum is still relatively weak and mainly reflects the ongoing consolidation phase. Lastly, the MACD shows that the MACD line is still below the signal line, while the histogram has turned slightly negative. So this suggests that bullish momentum has weakened in the short term. However, since the histogram remains relatively small, the market is still consolidating rather than entering a major bearish reversal.
Next are the momentum indicator for Petronas Chemical Group Berhad. The stochastic oscillator show that the K value is higher than the D value, creating a bullish crossover. This suggests that buy interest is improving after recovery from the oversold zone. The relative strength index RSI is at 13.8.9, although it remains below the neutral level of 50. It is moving away from the oversold region, indicating that the selling pressure is gradually decreasing. The rate of change ROC is still negative at negative 7.21, showing that the weak short-term momentum. However, it is improving compared to previous level, which means bearish momentum is slowly fading. Lastly, the moving average convergence divergence MACD also show improving momentum. Although the MACD line remains below the signal line, the negative histogram is becoming smaller, indicating early sign of recovery. Overall, this momentum indicator suggests that market sentiment is gradually improving.
Next, I will explain the momentum indicators used to evaluate Maybank's current market strength. Starting with the stochastic oscillator, the percent K value is 21.87, while the percent D value is 13.42. The indicator has formed a bullish crossover near the oversold region, suggesting that selling pressure is weakening and a short-term recovery may be beginning. However, stronger trading volume is still needed to confirm this signal. Moving to the RSI, the current reading is 47.46, which falls within the neutral range. This indicates that the stock is neither overbought nor oversold, and buyers and sellers remain relatively balanced while waiting for a clear market direction. For the ROC, the current value is negative 1.46. Although it remains below the zero line, the negative reading has become smaller, indicating that bearish momentum is weakening and selling pressure is gradually moderating. Finally, the MACD line stays below the senior line and a slightly negative histogram. This shows that bearish momentum is fading, although a confirmed bullish crossover is still required before a stronger upward trend can be expected. Overall, the momentum indicators suggest that Maybank is stabilizing with early signs of recovery but not yet a confirmed bullish reversal.
Based on all the technical indicators, our short-term recommendation is buy on weakness. Most of the indicators, including the trend line, support and resistance, volume analysis, EMA, and RSI, continue to generate buy signals. Meanwhile, Bollinger Bands, ROC, MACD remain on hold, while only the stochastic oscillator give a short-term sell signal due to temporary weakening momentum. Overall, the stock continues to trade above its major support levels and the EMA still act as a dynamic support. Although momentum indicators have weakened slightly, the overall trend remains bullish. Therefore, investors are advised to accumulate the stock gradually around the support zone between RM220 and RM216 rather than buying aggressively at higher prices. Confirming of a breakout above RM30 would strengthen the bullish outlook. From a long-term perspective, Inari continues to show a favorable technical outlook. The successful breakout above the long-term descending trendline confirms the beginning of a new bullish cycle. In addition, the stock continues to form higher high and higher low, supported by strong institutional buying interest and healthy trading volume. Although the stock is currently consolidating, this is considered a normal pause after a strong upward movement rather than a trend reversal. The share price also continues to trade above the EMA, indicating that buyers remain in control. Looking at the key price levels, the major support remains at RM2, while the resistance levels are RM30, RM42, and RM65. Therefore, our long-term investment recommendation is buy, with approximately 80% confidence. The positive trend structure, strong volume confirmations, and attractive risk-to-reward profile make the stock suitable for medium and long-term investors.
I will discuss the short-term investment perspective for Petronas Chemical Group Berhad. Overall, the stock is showing encouraging sign of recovery after a long downtrend. Most technical indicators including EMA, MACD, RSI, ROC, and the stochastic oscillator indicate improving buying interest. The share price is also moving closer to the EMA line and the middle Bollinger Band, suggesting improving market sentiment. However, the resistance level RM4.68, RM5.43, and RM5.85 may limit further prices increases. Therefore, our short-term recommendation is hold. Investors should wait for a stronger breakout with high trading volume before making new buying decision. Finally, let's look at the long-term investment perspective for Petronas Chemical Group Berhad. Our long-term recommendation is buy with a confidence level of 17%. This recommendation is supported by several factors. First, Petronas Chemical Group Berhad has a strong market position backed by Petronas. Second, its diversified product portfolio and a global operations provide good long-term growth opportunity. Third, the stock appears undervalued because it is currently trading below its book value. And lastly, the improving technical indicators suggest that the company has a good recovery potential as the chemical industry continues to recover. In conclusion, although investors should remain cautious in the short term, Petronas Chemical Group Berhad offers attractive long-term growth potential and is suitable for a long-term investment.
Based on our technical analysis, Maybank is currently in a consolidation phase after its strong rally earlier this year. The stock continues to hold above the important RM10.80 support level, showing that buyers are still defending this price area. The EMA and several momentum indicators such as the MACD and stochastic oscillator suggest that bullish momentum is gradually improving. However, trading volume remains relatively moderate and the stock has not yet broken above its key resistance. Therefore, our short-term strategy is to hold for confirmation. Investors may consider accumulating the stock near RM10.75 to RM10.85 while waiting for a confirmed breakout above RM11.20 before increasing their positions. From a long-term perspective, Maybank continues to be one of the strongest banking stocks on Bursa Malaysia. The company benefits from strong profitability, consistent earning growth, attractive dividend yield, and a well-diversified regional banking business, making it suitable for long-term investors. Although the share price is currently consolidating, this is viewed as a healthy correction rather than a reversal of the long-term uptrend. As long as Maybank remains above the RM10.80 support level, the long-term outlook remains positive. Our long-term targets are 11.20 as the first resistance, followed by RM11.60 and RM12.40 if bullish momentum continues to strengthen. Therefore, our recommendation is 75% buy, supported by Maybank's strong fundamental, stable earning growth, and attractive dividend income. That's all from us. Thank you.